Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Billy Newman Photo Podcast. My name is Billy Newman. I'm here today with Marina Hansen. How you doing, Marina?
Hey, Billy. I'm doing well.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me and doing some podcasting stuff. So it's like, the first week of December. It's pretty cold out. I think Portland got snow today.
It did, yeah.
I think Southern Oregon got some snow today. It looks like the mountains around here got snow. Today, everything was grayed out and pretty much just sleet and freezing rain for most of the day. But yesterday there were breaks in the weather enough that you could see up into the hills, and you could see that all of those trees were kind of coated in probably a light layer, but a layer of snow that had like held and stayed on the side of the hill. So it was cool to see that yesterday. Today I couldn't really see it, but you just see all the freezing rain on all the cars and all the trees and slush out there. Yeah. All the the logging trucks would drive by on the 99, and all the tops of the logs would be coated in snow.
Oh, that's
coming
cute.
down out of the mountains and then down into the valley where there's no snow where I am. Then drove home in the dark. But yeah, so there's a good bit of snow today. I guess that first bit of winter, which is sort of normal for the 10th of December. I think I remember for my childhood too. That was around the 10th of December, that Christmas party weekend. There was always something that was weather related. Was there going to be too much snow over here or there or something? But I remember probably maybe probably a handful of years growing up, and then since then, now that it was this next week of December that we had some wave come through off the Pacific that hit with a bunch of snow. It's cool though. It was fun to be out, and see a little bit of it. It's cool seeing all the other photos from people online.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of stuff from Portland today. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It seemed like a lot of people had some time off.
Yeah, I saw some pictures from one of my friends, Maxine. Her and her boyfriend were running around town sliding on ice.
Nice.
Yeah,
that
it
sounds
was pretty fun.
Yeah, it seems like they had a little bit. I saw a good bit though. There really wasn't snow.
It seemed like it was different
Yeah.
areas around Portland.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I also saw some stuff from some other friends that were jokingly look at this stormy weather pictures that was just pretty normal looking.
Oh yeah,
Portland
just
weather.
one little icicle and some rain.
Yeah.
It was a cold day. It was
was.
wet. It was uncomfortable. I don't like wet cold. Hovering around 30, 33, 35 degrees. It's no fun at all right there. It's probably the worst weather because it's not really dry enough yet. The humidity is still sticky with its cold.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing you can do to help yourself in that. And when it's really cold, it's after it's snowed, it's like a dry cold. If you're up in the mountains and you can kind of stay comfortable in that, at least a little bit better. But this wet cold, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Yeah, it's so awful. So a couple photos went up today. I guess the camera one has some pieces to talk about. Maybe we talked about that on the other, talking about all the old camera stuff. But I put up one photo today. That was that lineup of all the cameras that I've had from the year 2000 till now. And it's sort of the progression of the different cameras. And then I try to mark, at least on Instagram, I try to mark kind of the order that they're in. That's where I thought I had more space. Twitter, no space at all. But, and Snapchat. I drew little snaps around and labeled each of them boop, 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 boop. And you got a bunch of little snaps. I should have done that on Instagram. Actually, that would have been a cool way to show it. Maybe I still could, but yeah.
Yeah, you could break it out a little bit.
Can you do the drawing stuff in the Instagram stories?
Oh, you know what? I actually haven't used the stories on Instagram yet.
I've used the stories just for video and for sending the same picture that I've got up on Instagram. But I haven't messed around with it much at all. But yeah, we put up this photo. It was all the stuff. So it was the old first digital camera that I had in 2002. I had the smart media card, a media format that's not around anymore. It was 1.3 megapixels, no screen on the back to see the picture at all. It was just you had to take it and then bring it back to the computer, load it up. It was really almost silly. But it was 2002. Those had only been out for just a couple years at that point. But I was really excited to be a little kid, and I had that. And I took so many pictures with that all the time on all the trips and stuff. You just snap little pictures and bring it back to the computer, and then you'd mess with some little bootlegged version of Photoshop 4 that you had. It was really fun. I like doing that stuff a lot. It was cool doing that through middle school and high school. And so it was cool to see those cameras. And it's kind of fun that I had that complete record almost, I guess, outside of whatever I worked with at a job or at school or something. There'd be a
Yeah.
fun couple photos in there that I could say. But really, yeah, all the photos that I put up, all the photos that'll go up on this list are all made on those cameras. Even if you go back to the very, very beginning, if I post some picture, I think I posted a picture of like Simon, this dog that was a neighbor, this big Great Dane. That was taken on that Oregon Scientific camera back in
Oh,
like
that's cool.
2003 or something. Yeah.
Oh man.
So it's kind of funny to go back, and then yeah, all this newer stuff is from the D2H or the you know the Nikon or the Olympus that I have for like some of the really old film cameras stuff. It's kind of cool to see
Right.
that progression. I'm like, oh, I had that film SLR first, and then I got my first DSLR when I was getting out of high school, and then I got the D1, and that sucked, and then I got the D2H, and I held in there for way longer than it uh, maybe was good for. Lost its autofocus for a couple years. Lost lost some good working features of that camera. I probably should have upgraded at some point, but now yeah, then switching over to like the film stuff for 2012, 13, and 14, shooting with the N80, shooting with the F4 in 2015, doing all the film scan stuff, and then now having at the end of that the like another a full frame camera. It was cool. It was cool going through all the photos and stuff. Got put them out and making a little thing out of it. It was fun. Oh, and then the other photo that I put up today, that's an old one, but it's a good one. I think it's one of my favorites. Well, anyway, I don't know if I have it up on the board here. Oh, no, there it is.
There
That
it is.
Crater Lake photo. A silly crop of the Crater Lake photo, I swear, because it's such a cool panorama.
Right.
That's what I really liked about that photograph, which is really what I should have gone for with with that
This little
square
print you
too.
have up.
Oh, yeah, it's goofy. But yeah, it was cool to put that photo up again. But it was so silly though. Like I used Hootsuite, but it crunched the file. Like it just I don't know what happened to it. I thought it was a file. Like a file
Oh,
with some dimension, or
sure.
you could show it a little bit. It's maybe like 100 pixels wide, or it's like
Just tiny.
it's just some little tiny thumbnail that was around still from wherever that photo used to come
Oh,
from. So yeah, it just looks terrible. It's like probably one of my favorite nicest photos, and it's this crummiest, worst looking little phone screen sized version of it. And yeah, so I feel silly. I gotta replace it. I'm gonna say, hey, this is a better one. I want a nice one to show of
Yeah.
that picture.
That's a really cool picture. It's when there's a little bit of snow out in Crater Lake.
Yeah, it was in June. It was in early June of the year 2012. I had my tripod, I had the D2H, and this is a stitched panorama. I don't do many of those
Oh,
anymore. I just crop now. I got tired of all
yeah.
the
I remember you used to do them
I got tired of
somewhat
computational
often.
photography pieces.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool things I should do. Like there's a lot of cool experiments you could do craft wise, like shoot film and then stitch that together in a panorama. Just
Oh,
some kind of
sure.
thing you couldn't have done in the past, and some be cool looking way. But it's a lot of work. It's maybe not
Yeah.
the best. I don't really focus on that part of it as much anymore. As like what you can really just do with the camera and the frame, or like some idea of a crop you want to make. But all the Photoshop stitching and rebuilding and re-canvassing and stuff, I try to not do as much anymore. But this, maybe I should do it because this was pretty cool. And it was really the only way I could do it at the time. I didn't have a wide angle lens
That's right.
to photograph Crater Lake, but I wanted a cool sweeping view of Crater Lake. And the only quality lens that I had at the time was this 50 millimeter 1.8. That's the
Oh,
only competent lens that I had for that camera that year, and for a long time. So what I did is I had the 50 millimeter lens. I turned to shoot a portrait style shot, so it's the vertical frame. And then I moved that vertical frame horizontally across the Crater Lake landscape. I think it was maybe 7 pictures or so that ended up being stitched together to this wide panorama. And this is a cut down of that a little bit, but just to kind of fit in the whole lake. So you go from the west rim all the way around the east side, and you see this kind of cool reach up of the sunset, the clouds up in the air in the sky, and then you see a lot of that colorful sort of copper red colored reflection coming up off the surface of the lake, which is pretty cool. I like that. And it's funny too. I don't really spend enough time exploring the Crater Lake area. It's Oregon's only national park.
yeah, that's right.
A little bit as we've noticed though, the cool stuff isn't
Not in,
maybe in the national park as cool and spectacular as the site of Cradle Lake is. It's quite impressive. If it wasn't a national park, you'd wonder why. But after a while of being there, you figure, oh yeah, but there's all these other things right around Oregon to
Yeah,
check
there
out
are a
too.
lot of pretty impressive features
Yeah,
through
yeah.
Oregon.
It was always, it's tough. Like Yellowstone. I mean, if you could be there by yourself, or if you could really experience nature in
Yeah.
solitude, it could be a thing. But as it goes, and with Cradle Lake, even it's just too many folks in line for Huckleberry ice cream,
Yeah.
and it's just a little too busy. But it was cool. It was cool hanging out there. I hung out there all day. I got there at about 2 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock, noon or something like that. I went into the lodge and I like sat down. I had my laptop for a while. And I was like doing that thing where I had to pull all the old photos over from whatever night before stuff I had done. I think I'd been out for like maybe a week or so. And then I like spent like 40 minutes like trying to wipe out the gunk in my sensor because I was getting all this hair and
Oh.
dust and dirt. It was just awful in there. And then, yeah, I was trying to prep it so I could take prettier photos so I wouldn't have to Photoshop out all these
Oh, yeah.
clumps out of the photo of like spot removal stuff that was getting stuck on the lens. But I did that forever. And then I went out and I like sat and I read a book from like 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or something like that. Then I hiked up, and that was when the snow was still early enough in the year that the snow berm was still covering the road. So you couldn't really drive the road all the way around the lake
Oh,
like
okay.
you might be able to later in the year. So you just had to park really just at the front and then hike up in through the snow. And so I hiked up there for a while, and then I hiked up to a spot that was kind of a berm next to the trees where I could look out and shoot photographs. It was cool. It was a nice spot to be there. It was fun. A
Yeah.
fun evening to hang out there. And then I remember that night I had to come down the mountain, and then I think I was gonna camp in the trees, and I went to a spot. I was camping by myself in the Camry,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
got spooked. I got way eeried out, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. I'm not staying here. It was pitch black when I showed up, and it was just that deep, super dense evergreen forest.
Oh, no.
And I'm the only person down this road in this empty campsite area. And I just felt, and I'm by myself, and
Yeah.
it's just, and everything's super close on you. Like there's no like, it's not like a big field. Like, oh yeah, I can see whatever over there coming up, whatever my
Mhm.
way. And I was like, I'm not camping here by myself. I'm way too scared.
Good choice.
I'm
That
scared of the
sounds
dark.
awful.
No, it's rough. And so yeah, I listened to a
you-
bunch of music. I talked to you on the phone,
I think I remember that.
and I drove up to Diamond Lake and then cut over to Toketee Falls. And then I spent like 3 or 4 days over there shooting the waterfalls and going up to the hot springs and going up to the other waterfalls up there. And then I came up to like the stuff at Oregon State University at the graduation time or around graduation. And then we went over,
Right.
then we went over to Smith Rock after that.
Yeah.
That was a cool part of the trip. Yeah, that was fun.
That was cool.
I was thinking about that, but yeah, that was a really productive couple of weeks. I made so many photographs. It's such a weird thing when you look back at like certain sections of your photos and stuff, and you go, "Oh yeah, all those good ones happened in like 6 weeks."
Right. Yeah.
What a weird thing. And what if you could reproduce that for yourself all the time? Yeah, that's the band of performance. I don't hit enough. So
That's hard. It's hard to get to be out in that many new places as often as you would need to be to really be constantly building art.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we gotta push it together. We did a really good job a few years ago.
Yeah.
We've been earning
gotta
way
do it
more
again.
money now, which is
That
super.
part is pretty cool.
But we got to get to more places. We
Yeah,
got to make more stuff.
definitely.
That's all. That's just what it is.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, it's so cool. It's the best thing though.
It
So,
is. It's
I guess
best thing ever.
yeah. It couldn't be better. So yeah, those 2 photos. I spent the whole day. Trying to figure out the iTunes iBooks publishing stuff. Have you ever worked with that? I mean, like I know we did some ebook stuff in the past, but we were just like doing the design and putting together the PDFs and then sharing those out on our site.
Yeah, I haven't used the iTunes library stuff myself.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like for the podcast even, what we do is you have to set up an Apple ID, like what everybody that has an iPhone would have, or any person that's connecting to iTunes to make a purchase from the iTunes store. You have an Apple ID. In this case, though, we want to set it up to be special so that it's a publisher's Apple ID. So you have to apply for that, or you have to go to iTunes Connect you have to figure out something that's sort of esoteric. I don't know. It wasn't seeming to be well explained to me when I was trying to. I was just like, I go to the site, you log in, you upload your deal, it's there. That's it, but not so much. So yeah, I have to. So I'm already registered as a podcaster, and there seems to be some sort of difficulty with setting up an iTunes Connect account for being a podcaster, but also for being an iBooks author. It's something that's managed, but I think it takes like a couple days. I think a little pop-up came up and said like, oh, there's whatever deal, you have this, you have this, you have to figure out how to select it. So I guess it wasn't working for me today, but maybe later it will. But you use this iTunes Connect interface for like, I don't know, publishing to Apple stuff. And then you download this other program called iTunes Publisher. I think that's what it's called. And then I guess you're supposed to use that to, drop your book into, fill out the information for it, and then you like submit it for review, and then it gets posted or published to the thing. So what we're going to try and do is, I think, one, make like a really cool portfolio book for ourselves that's printed for our new coffee table.
Yeah.
Lay it out, show off all our cool photos. That's the one I want to flip through.
Yeah, me too.
Out of all the photo books on our tables, I just will look at our cool pictures from all of our stuff for the past. Yeah, we should get that, a really nice one though. We're going to keep it forever.
That's what I want.
Spend the extra 50 cents for paper or whatever that, whatever that little upper is. But we should get a nice one for this year. But also with that, I want to make an ebook that's like all the stuff probably that's been talked about on this podcast, all those photos that we've been putting out over the last 90 days or so, like the last 3 months. I want to take like every 3 months, kind of compile all the stuff that I put together, sort of render out some kind of ebook, maybe almost just like a slideshow in a way, slideshows and caption, some kind of basic thing, sort of a simple demonstration of the pictures and what we've been doing. And then, and then throw that up to iBooks Author or the iBooks site or store for iPad. So you can download the ebooks and check them out, or however that is. But it's just kind of more for fun almost.
Yeah,
I think it'd be kind of easy to make it, or easy to make extra content. We'll just make it pretty simple, just be a big picture and whatever.
Yeah, the hardest part about making books with the little stuff that we've done so far, I think, is just getting all of the photos together.
Oh yeah.
So
no, it's totally true. Yeah.
If we already have it set up for a printed book, it should be pretty easy to set up as an ebook.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I want to try and do a bunch. I want to try and just mess around and put up as many different publishing projects that we can in 2017.
Yeah, I really want to be doing that too. I was looking through my photos today and building a folder of photos for that portfolio book that you're talking about.
Yeah.
For the one that I'm going to make for myself.
No, yeah, we got to do it. It's a great idea for us to do it right now.
Yeah, definitely.
I was looking at that photographs book that I made, that portfolio from 2012.
Yeah, I know that book.
Yeah, super happy to have it, but I really noticed that I should be doing that like every year. Yeah. Or, I should have more of those around. Like, oh, this is like 2012. Cool. It's 2017 now.
Like a yearbook.
Yeah, no, that's really what I want to do. Is like, why not? I mean, we should just put together. Cool. Yeah. Oh, this is 2016. Idea. Oh, this is 2017. This is, so we have like, oh wow, like look at all these pieces that we have. So all the film, kind of the broader but nice selection of all these pictures that we've made.
Yeah.
Through the year, and we're pretty competent. We really do create a good bit of new content each year. But we got to up it, Marina. We're going for it. You're 24. I'm 28. We got to go big.
So big.
2017.
2017.
We're good.
Yeah, it's got to be a good year.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Got to put some cool photos together. But yeah, I don't know. Just stuff about iBooks. It's not
That's
super
cool.
exciting.
You're checking it out today, though.
Yeah,
I hadn't spent any time learning about that yet.
I'm gonna jump into InDesign in the next couple of days to figure out how to set up your EPUB document. I know pretty well how to do it. I know how to set up like the other ebooks that we've done. I was just interested in a couple different pieces. I think iTunes in this version, or InDesign rather, in this version, you can set up containers to have multimedia content go into it. So it could be audio, or it could be video on that page that you could play. Yeah, so I'm interested in how to implement that within InDesign.
Yeah.
Rather than the iBooks author software, which is a little more focused on just being simple.
Yeah, so sure, easy to use.
Yeah. But with InDesign, we have all the flexibility of page layout and just design that we'd want to execute on it.
That would be so cool to put together some multimedia eBooks.
Oh yeah, I want to. I want
to try some.
We had a couple of little video ideas from all the clips of video that we've had from all these other trips. I thought, how cool that would be to like, put together a little easy, short little pieces or like whatever our Snapchat story is or something from it.
Yeah.
We could kind of like tie in a few of these other pieces that sort of surround whatever idea, this photo or this page is sort of about. And it's kind of interesting. You think about the cloud of content that you're generating all the time, or it sounds silly. It sounds like you're marketing, but you think about like all the pictures that you take and all the things that you write and in all the different places that you put that. So between like all the Snapchats that you put up and then all the photos that go out to Facebook and then the podcasts that we get to record, it's like all that, if you coalesce that, that's really like a pretty significant amount of stuff to be doing, but it just sort of ends up getting kind of pulled apart into these different places.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you
That
think
is
about it like,
that.
oh, if that was all in a book, if you saw like a video and had a podcast and had a paragraph and had a handful of photos about just this one thing, that's like a lot just about that one thing. And we could probably, given,
We've got a lot.
taken, from what we've already done, we could do that with a lot of different things.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a huge amount of stuff
Yeah.
that we could use.
Yeah. I want
Pull
to
together.
generate more from all that stuff too.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's been part of what I've been thinking about while I've been going through these portfolio photos because I was looking at stuff from kind of far back.
Oh yeah.
And it's really cool having just a huge collection of a bunch of really cool places. And I want
Yeah.
to keep using those photos.
Yeah.
I want to think of my art and my photos like that more and try to like repurpose them.
Oh yeah.
And
Things
get to
that
like
are
really
things that are still
really
living.
make them a used photo that I put
Oh
together.
yeah. No, there's probably some of my best things that I've made that got posted once.
Yeah, that went through Facebook.
To Facebook, got wiped through by 25 people when I posted at some weird time in the morning on some road trip we were on.
Yeah.
Then I was just like, oh, well, I put it up, it can't ever go up again. And then you look at everybody else who puts up a lot of content. They really rotate through a lot of it often. Or if they're
yeah.
pushing one thing, like they've got like this thing, it's like there's a lot of push on that topic. So I feel like, I wanna try and do a little bit more of that. I was thinking about it in a way, sort of like a comic has a set of jokes that they're going to tell over 45 minutes, and then maybe if they're efficient at writing new things or creating new pieces, then they'll kind of roll that over the course of a year, so that next year it's sort of a lot of a new act or something. But they kind of work on it and have like a certain set of things that they concentrate on for a certain period of time. I kind of want to do that a little bit. Like I want to take a pool of 100 photographs together and then really focus on those and sort of cycle through those for about 3 months and then maybe switch it or maybe over the course of a year and kind of build on it until I can sort of pull out different older things and then have like a newer, tighter set or a tighter, more effective portfolio of nice images.
That's an interesting idea for how to do it.
I was thinking about that as just a way to show photos, like show a lot of whatever nice photo I might take next month or something. I'll show that one a lot. I'll repost that one a lot of times for the next, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they're relative, but like every few weeks it might, or month or two or something, it might float through in some way. Might be different. I don't know. But yeah, I was thinking about something like that. But really hit those more frequently. It'd be cool. But Marina, we gotta go get Chinese food.
Hey.
We're up. We're due. All right. So on behalf of Marina Hansen, my name is Billy Newman. I want to say thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Billy Newman Photo Podcast. Thanks a lot.